Hello and welcome back to First Place TV. My name is Tumelo Makgakga, a qualified chartered accountant, a registered tax practitioner, and a registered auditor. Today I've got an interesting topic. I've been asked so many times about this topic, and I just decided let me just put together a video and hopefully you can get some value out of it. Today we'll be talking about SARS admin penalties. I'll explain the difference between a percentage-based admin penalty as well as a fixed amount kind of penalty that SARS charges. So if we jump straight into it, what is an admin penalty? Simply put, ladies and gents, an admin penalty that you are charged by SARS simply arises from you not submitting a tax return. So in other words, if you fail to submit a tax return on its due date, you will incur what is called a SARS admin penalty. That's the simplicity of it. It's an admin penalty that arises due to failure to submit a tax return. And like I said, there are two types of admin penalties. There's a fixed amount kind of penalty which incurs or which is charged every single month. So for instance, if your tax return was due on the 31st of October and you fail to submit that tax return, depending on the income that you earned, or your income for that year, it will then depend on how much that admin penalty is. But it ranges all the way from 250 Rand per month all the way to 16,000 Rand per month. So in my example, where you fail to submit your income tax return on the 31st of October, that means that every single month after that date, you will start incurring let's just say 250 Rand a month, assuming that your income falls in a lower bracket. But yeah, it can range from 250 to all the way to 16,000 Rand per month, depending on where your income falls. So yeah, you will be incurring the 250 every single month until you rectify the non-compliance. So if you wait for 3 years to rectify the non-compliance, that means that you will have the 250s recurring every single month. The good thing is the penalty itself can only be, the maximum period which SARS can charge this monthly penalty is up to 35 months. So yeah, you can do the math, but the penalty is only cancelled when you rectify the non-compliance. So which means that you have to go and submit the outstanding tax return. Then there's also an admin penalty that is charged if you pay or you make a payment to SARS late. This is it's charged on a percentage basis. So if your payment was due on the last day of the month and you miss the payment for whatever reason, you will incur an admin penalty on a percentage basis. So yeah, suppose you do have that case of you've been charged admin penalties, and yeah, you realize it after 3 or 4 years that actually I've been charged admin penalties by SARS. And you can see that, okay, now I'm sitting on 3, 4, 5, even maybe 10,000, depending on how much you were charged every month. And you're thinking, okay, what do I do now? I've been charged, I accept the liability and I just want to fix this. Firstly, you've got an option to, the first option that you have is to pay SARS cash upfront, whatever amount you owe them. And if you see that you cannot afford that amount, the other option that you have is to do what is called a payment arrangement, to apply for a payment arrangement. Once you submit your application for a payment arrangement, SARS will review it and they will either approve it or decline it. But those are your two options in that regard. And then you might be sitting there thinking, nah, I don't agree with SARS in this regard. I don't think they should have charged me these admin penalties. For whatever reason, you could have your own reasons. There could have been other things that SARS didn't take into account. So you still have an option to do what is called your RFR, or request for remission. That is when you're challenging SARS to say, I don't agree with the admin penalties that I've been charged on my account. So can you please revise that? And of course, according to the rules and the Tax Administration Act, they can review that and you can get an outcome, whether it's successful or unsuccessful. And then of course you might be wondering, what happens if I don't pay? I just leave it there, sitting there, and I just ignore it. I just go about my business and I don't attend to it. What happens then? This admin penalty, does it then magically disappear? Unfortunately not. What happens is SARS will end up sending you letters of demand until a certain point where they will take legal processes internally. And if you're employed somewhere, it could even lead to a situation where they approach your employer and end up taking the money from your salary directly. There are instances where SARS even goes directly into your bank account and takes some money. You then wake up and find, what's happening here? Money has gone out of my account. Actually, to find that it's SARS, they took the money. So I would say, of course, avoid that. Don't wait for SARS to take money from your bank account. You'll be very surprised in terms of how much SARS can take from your bank. The moment you go to your bank to inquire, they'll tell you, no, it's SARS, and there's nothing you can do. The money is gone. Be upfront about it. Tackle this thing. If you realize that you are getting admin penalties on your account, I would say contact someone who can assist you to either do a deferral of payment, application, which is a payment arrangement, or and of course you want to immediately rectify the non-compliance, right? Because the earlier you rectify the non-compliance, then the penalty stops, the monthly penalties stop. So that's the first thing you need to do: rectify the non-compliance. That's number one. Secondly, pay the amount that you have incurred in penalties. If you cannot afford to pay it off at once, then get someone to help you to do a payment arrangement. But make sure that you attend to it. Don't just leave it there lying around. Make sure that you pay. You do what's necessary and you do what's right. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are a full services firm providing accounting, tax, auditing, consulting, and advisory services. If you do need assistance, whether it's to submit your outstanding tax returns, whether it's to review any cases with SARS where you don't agree with them, or whatever it is that you might be going, your case might, the specifics of your case, I mean to say, you want to do a request for remission, you don't know how, you can reach out to our team, you can reach out to me. And whether you want to do an application for a payment arrangement, reach out to us. We can assist you, we can walk you through the process. And of course, we try our best to also educate you during the process. I look forward to hearing from you, and see you at the top.